Hey guys, and welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast with me, Alex Whiteley. And today we have a great show lined up for you. As always, this is Lucy Caddel, who is, I think, every time I speak to Lucy, she's so vibrant, so full of energy. And I think it's an absolute crime that this is the first time she's featured properly on the Shrewsbury Biscuit. We've bumped into each other at things like Drawn and artsy things, and we've had little things. She invited me to the Gateway Gallery as well, to an exhibition she'd put together. So we've done little bits like Vox Pop stuff, but as a feature, this is the first time, and it's a great opportunity to really get up inside that head and find out what's going on for her creatively. If you're not familiar with Lucy Caddel, please go and check out her art and what she does. You'll see that as vibrant as she is in life and in herself, it comes through her art with the colours and the artwork she does. So it's Lucy Caddel, Caddel. So please check her out, and then obviously, go ahead and listen to this podcast, or do one while you're doing the other. There's nothing to stop you from doing that. Now then, important news about the UK Independent Podcast Awards. So we didn't win, all right? We didn't win. But it's fine. Do you know why? Because we had the best night ever. I'm so happy with how far the podcast has gone. Just to be in the top 6 of that lifestyle category I did actually say that. It's a genuine thing. I feel like that is great in itself. If we'd have won the award, it would have been even better. But like, the night that we had was great. I met so many amazing creative people. I got to meet Ant McGinley, my good friend from years of working together. We never met each other because he's up north and I can never get up north. Met him for the first time. We had a good cuddle. We had a good night. Lots of drinks. All the alcohol was free. I got champagne thrown at me, beer, all sorts. It was amazing, honestly. So thank you to everybody who spoke to me at the Independent Podcast Awards. Thank you to the judges who listened to my podcast and deemed it unworthy of an award. Thank you for just taking the time out. Honestly, it's really cool. So we didn't win, but I am making a commitment to making this podcast more efficient, and we're going to be releasing a podcast as a promise every Monday. Okay, every Monday there's going to be a podcast. I'm making this promise to you and to myself. So we've got that consistency not locked in, because it's been very difficult. Got no excuses now. Got a good job, good routine about to be put together, and I am cooking on gas. We're building a brand new podcast to run alongside the Shrewsbury Biscuit called Biscuit Behind the Boom. I just tried that out with an interview I just did, and it didn't go very well, but that sounded sick, didn't it? Biscuit Behind the Boom. It's going to run alongside the Shrewsbury Biscuit, and it's all about the inner workings of the TV, movies, theatre and music industries. Of course, throw actors my way, we'll speak to them, but I'm more focused on, I've just spoken to an amazing stunt performer. I was trying to think of the right word. Stunt performer, Maria, who is amazing, and I'll send the links obviously to the Shrewsbury Biscuit so you guys can listen in. I've spoken to art directors. Tomorrow I'm speaking to an actor that was just on Peacemaker. So we are cooking on gas for that. So that's Biscuit Behind the Boom. We're working on so many things. So the next year we'll have 2 podcasts to take to the Independent Podcast Award. We'll have the Shrewsbury Biscuit knocked down, but I'm going for the free champagne, and that is it. If we win, we win. But I'm going for the free champagne. So there we go. Right, I'll leave you. I've been rattling on for 4 minutes long. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is the amazing, vibrant, colourful, and really fun Lucy Caddel. I'll see you guys at the end. Enjoy. Right, so we're first of all, I need to ask my guest today, Lucy Caddel. Is it Caddel? Caddel.
Although I have heard every sort of
I get Whitley and Whiteley all the time.
I get Cuddle, and I might change my name, so it does sound quite cute in a way, Lucy Cuddle.
Lucy Caddel. And that's what we did the first time we met, because we'd seen each other on social media so much that it was kind of like, oh, this has been a long time coming. But my serious question is, how has this not happened any sooner? Because we see each other everywhere, don't we?
And lots of different things. Drawn, and oh God, I hate the sound of my own voice. And you came to Colour Now in January.
I did. That was really nice.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff going on. I feel like I'm doing like way too much at the moment, which is good. I mean, it's better to be busy, right? Nicer problems to have, but there is a lot going on.
I was sitting the wrong headphones down. Is that better for you? Is that okay? I feel better? Yeah?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. And I love being invited to these things, and I can't always make it because I have a full-time job and all these kind of things. But when I do get to these places, it's nice because I see people I haven't seen in ages. I see amazing art, and I get to have amazing conversations. There's never any pressure. It's just nice to be there.
Oh, it's great to have you there. And I think we're really lucky in Shrewsbury to have you doing this because, like, you know, you just got your nomination, and you know, brilliant to have, you know, like this independent podcast in Shrewsbury.
I love it. And do you know what? I don't care if I only had 6 people listening. I'd still be doing it.
No, that's great. You're passionate about it.
I like the sound of my... I'm not joking. I don't like it. You get used to it after a bit. But today also we're with Mini-Biscuit Timmy. All right, Timmy?
Yeah.
How you been?
Good. Yeah, I've been doing some more drawing. He's obsessed with art. So he will go... Great. And he'll spend a good hour or so. He's always had good colour schemes. He's always had passions. At the moment, he's going through like an anime phase.
Cool.
So he's lots of Dragon Ball Z.
Have you watched K-pop Demon Hunters?
Yes.
Yes, I love it. I love it too. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with it. Which is your favourite song on K-pop Demon Hunters? Oh, it's difficult. My youngest likes Icons. I'm more of a golden... You know, and soda pop actually.
Your idol.
Idol, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you like that one.
Soda pop is a bit of a guilty pleasure for me.
Oh yeah, and
that's the one he sings the most is a soda pop.
Brilliant. You need to get your hair a bit more pink for that. You know.
If anybody's curious what we're talking about, K-pop Demon Hunters is like taking the world by storm. I think it's like...
To be honest, I think everybody knows what it is.
They should do.
Everyone who's anyone.
It's a good time. It is a good time. You put it on for us, didn't you? And we enjoyed it.
To prove my dad wrong.
I like the animation, but if you're practicing doing anime, you should just do whole pages of the eyes, whole pages of the hair. You know, you got to practice. That's the top tip.
That's what we've been talking about, isn't it? Because you've been doing lots of faces, and now he's struggling with his hands and his arms. And you need to really study arms and stuff. But
yeah, like you can get someone to pose, someone to just do some.
Yeah. I'll say comic books are really good because even though they're really elaborate, like muscles and stuff, you can kind of get that and tone it to whatever you need.
Yeah, copying them as well.
Muscles there for what's his name? Goku.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I think you need to do a bigger scale. That would be good. Yeah, try and work on a larger and get yourself a nice white pad to work on.
Yeah.
Your colours are good. I like your expressive figures. They're really nice.
Really good. But we didn't just get you here to assess my son's art.
Yeah.
We're coming here to tell your story. Timmy's 10 years old and he's always been very arty. We found some of his stuff from like 3 years old where his colour schemes are just crazy. Scribbles, but great colour schemes, you know. When does art start for you as like a thing that you wanted to like do?
Oh, that's really interesting. So I've always done art since I was little, just like Timmy. My mom has an anecdote that she remembers that, like a health visitor coming round, even when I was like 2 years old. And I was quite just quite natural with drawing. So apparently the health visitor asked me to do a drawing of a person. That's they want to know where you're at with people. And so I drew the person for the health visitor, but I drew it upside down for me so that it was the right way around for her.
Oh, wow.
So I just totally reversed it without even thinking about it. I just, she was like, she said, draw me a person, so I drew her a person but drew it upside down. But
wow.
So I sort of found things like that quite naturally, quite easy to do. And I was quite young, probably younger than you, Timmy, and I made a shadow puppet theatre of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and I made every single character and I freehand cut them out and then made little like sticks for them and stuff and put, did stuff like that, and I was always making and doing. My mum was terrified when Blue Peter came on. I was just like, I want to do it now. Yeah, so it was like, washing up bottles and all that sort of thing. I suppose that's the kind of the vibe of art teaching was always there as well.
I love those shows though, because they're like,
What you're going to need, kids, is a paper plate, 4 large buttons, a CD.
Yeah, it was always stuff that we didn't have as well. Like now, we seem to, our house is awash with recycling all the time. So it's really easy to find stuff. But I love doing crafty projects. I've actually just been prepping today for a workshop I'm doing on Saturday, which is it's a Mexican workshop about it's for the Day of the Dead. It's a Nicho shrine, and there is sort of elements of recycling in that because it's got papier mâché in it, so bits of old cardboard, and using hojalateria, which is tin work. So that's using sort of like roasting trays or tin cans or something that, and like drawing into it. So I do love making and doing. I don't think I'll ever, I see things and I think, oh, I can do that. I want to make that,
Yeah.
And I like doing things 3D as well as, doing 2D.
I like people that do things not so outside the box is good. It's really great. Different is good, but brave. I love people that are brave with stuff. And I think your work is very brave.
Because it's very kind of you say so.
Because you're very... very eloquent. You're bright, and it's really nice to see someone be that vibrant, because you could go wrong with that very easily, couldn't you? I suppose.
I mean, I've been talking to a lot of people about my choice of colours and my colour palette recently, which I think is quite eye-wateringly, eye-bleedingly vibrant. I think some people are a bit like, oh God, it's too much. But like, I spent a lot of time in Latin America. I lived in Peru for 2 years. I travelled around Central America, so I love all of that neon signage and quite bright text. And I think I was talking to my classes recently. We were the last household on Earth. I grew up in the Northeast. Everyone knows it's grim up north. And we were the last family on Earth to have a colour television. We had a black and white, not even a big black and white, like a portable black and white TV until I was at least 15. And, so everything was tonal for me.
You were repressed from
colour. So I think that's now why I'm just like obsessed with that. I have to if I can break out the neons, the metallics, my colour palette's very bright. And people ask me, what's your favourite colour? And I definitely lean towards pink, orange, yellow, all of that very vibrant tropical. But, frankly, I'm, any colour goes. I can't really be that loyal to one area. Actually, this exhibition I've got coming up at Salton Hall, it's about pomegranate. So I've been really...
I love Salton Hall, by the way.
Oh, it's beautiful. I'm so lucky to be doing it. But it's, lots of gold, lots of, crimson, really rich, opulent, luxurious, ostentatious use of colour. I've been commissioned to do this big piece of work, which has turned into a triptych, which is 3 panels. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Right. So they're really big. So I don't know how tall Timmy is, but it's probably taller than you. They're 5 foot high by 4 foot wide. And there's 3 of them. So they're, like I stand up and it's, the same height as me, the same size as me. And it's been a real challenge because it's like juggling jelly, because you're drawing 3 different canvases. They all link together. So they would go together seamlessly. Yeah. We're not sure yet whether they'll be butted up against each other on the wall or whether they'll be individually framed. I'm not sure yet. We have to see them in the space, because the space they're going to be exhibited in is a massive sort of old barn space. And then they're going to go into the actual hall later on. But I think it looks massive in my house, but I think when it gets there, it's going to look teeny tiny. But it's like juggling jelly, because, you have to block everything in, so you get all the colours in on every canvas. And then it's like, I liken my painting process, it's like looking through binoculars when you're slowly bringing things into focus. So it starts off quite sketchy. I use lots of big, bold areas of colour, and then gradually it becomes more and more in focus and more refined and detailed. So I was going from using like 2-inch wide brushes to moving down to like literally single hair brushes. And
wow.
There's teeny details in it, and there's but there's also a lot of big splashy stuff as well. But
does that start it like when you're experimenting with colours with like physical painting? Does that start in like college or anything for you, or is that something you experimented with before? How did you find that kind of process? Do you know what I mean?
I think so. I did a lot of stuff at school. So, at school I was involved in, and this is if you're interested in art, get involved in all the theatre shows, Timmy, because if you can get involved in the backstage crew, and so I painted a lot of backdrops. So working on a big scale is not a problem for me. So I used to do like 5 metre by 3 metre backdrops.
Okay.
And I used to really love it as well, painting with like rollers and all sorts of things. So, we did a production of The Mikado, Gilbert and Sullivan, and so it's all Japanese, and I did this sort of, like a Hokusai way, like the views.
You can get really creative with stuff like that, can't you? Because I mean, whenever you go see like Oliver or something like that, and you got to paint the Victorian signs.
I did actually. Yeah, I did do an Oliver in Lima actually, because we did a talent show and we did some numbers from. We did a mini version of Oliver. That's right, and we made a backdrop out there as well. So I was always getting roped in to do all the painting all the sets, painting all the props. I remember making a giant gramophone for Pygmalion, My Fair Lady, and that sort of thing. So I was always making papier-mâché props, and I had to paint a filing cabinet for How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, and lots of things like that. And it was a great way to get involved because people wanted things painted big. And again, I was in the Northeast. We didn't really have loads of money to spend on like endless canvases and oils, on a large scale. We didn't. So this was an opportunity to paint big, and someone else was kind of funding it because there was, Lucy, you've got to paint this Venetian street scene. Okay, right. Okay, let's make the street.
You go to it and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
What's your process? Do you just go into it, or there's a lot of thought process and planning going?
I'm quite spontaneous. Yeah, it's terrible because as a teacher, you would definitely recommend planning, lots of drawing, lots of sketching. But I guess I've got a lot of experience to fall back on. So I do practice daily. So I think it's really important to do a drawing a day, Timmy, if you haven't already.
He's filling up notebook every week.
And even if it's just a 5-minute drawing, if it's just a continuous line drawing, just something, and then it keeps your hand in. Or I find if I've been on holiday or something, if I'm on holiday, I'm drawing anyway. But if there's been a gap for some reason and I come back to it, it's a bit like, it's a bit hard. Because you've got to be in a regular practice and to be able to be fluent with it.
That's what I found about, like, I was speaking to Charlie Adlard, for example. He is someone that could kick back and enjoy his money, for example. He's, but he's doing still life classes every week. He's keeping that muscle flowing, and same for you. And it's nice to see that people like yourself and Charlie sort of at the top of their tier, doing their thing, pumping out great art, that are just carrying on, keeping that flowing,
Yeah, I think so going to life drawing, that's really good, and you can do life drawing. It doesn't have to be naked people all the time. You can do life
what's
drawing.
What's the fun in that?
You can do you can get clothed models, and that's fine, and you could draw from magazines or what have you, and then
question.
But if you practicing drawing from observation, that's what my classes are. I teach observational study. So we do painting, drawing, pastels, collage, working from observation, a different theme every week. And I think it's really important. Sorry, Tim, did you want to ask something?
No, I wasn't going to ask anything, but last year in art, we did... we were focusing on the person who did the 5 orange people dancing.
Oh, Matisse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I love Matisse. And he's got great sense of colour.
We had to draw it, and everybody was giggling because...
some naked figures.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But it's full of joy, that. I love that image of the dance. I also love Matisse's... You should look at his cut paper studies, because they're lovely.
I've had a look at them.
Yeah, the papier découpe, they're really great. And he's got such an immediate sort of so he looks and he draws. There's an absolutely stunning one with a parrot in it, and I started doing a lot of parrot collages, and then I did parrot paintings as well.
Of course, that makes sense for you.
So I don't know. I think I tend to work. I tend to have an idea. A lot of my work centered around still life, or it's called vanitas painting. So it's like a collection of objects that show your identity. And there's sort of contemporary version of these, and in sort of Dutch 16th century still lives, people would commission, because they didn't have a camera then, right?
Yeah, sure.
So they would say, I want a picture of these amazing flowers to show how rich I am, or a picture of all these wonderful fruits to show
before they wilt.
Yes, exactly. And someone would paint those in sort of pinpoint accuracy to have on the wall. And I love Dutch still lives, but mine are sort of like a contemporary reinterpretation of that, and there's a lot of symbolic objects. So there's lots of objects about luck. So I had a painting called Get Lucky that you saw back in January, and it had a. I have to remember everything that's in the painting. It's got a pilea, which is a Chinese money plant. It's got a double happiness Chinese vase in it. It's got a bar of Luca chocolate, which is like lucky chocolate. It's got a lucky Buddha beer. That's a different one, but there's lots of lucky in that as well. There's a sort of lucky horn in that. So there's bits of but yeah, luck and games. So in the triptych that's coming up at Stilton Hall, that one. In the triptych that's coming up at Stilton Hall, there's some D&D dice and some Rubik's cubes. So it's a lot about the game of life as well.
Ah, okay. I love that because me not being like I love art. I do love art. Salvador Dali for me and Geiger.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I love Geiger.
As in from Alien?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
his fine pencil work is just to die for.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily
Alien Earth.
Not yet, because
brilliant.
We've just done. We've done Peacemaker, and then we did the Ed Gein thing, which is a bit wild. Are you okay?
Yeah, just getting something.
You're getting something. Okay, you're allowed. I always explain my podcasts are very organic. It's one of the wobbly set things I love to have on my podcast. I love art, but like I never understand the reason for things like still. I always thought like still life was just like a practice. How do we paint? How do we draw a bottle? How do we do an apple?
I mean, still life is a genre, so like portraiture or landscape. But for me, still life is about symbolic objects, so objects that mean something to you. And so that in that Get Lucky, that jar, it was my grandpa's. And I lived in my grandpa's house for years, and on it is a Chinese double happiness symbol, which I only found out recently, actually, from a friend who spoke Chinese.
So that's the 2 H's, is it?
It's the whole thing means double happiness, and there's some fortune cookies, and in the fortune cookie it says you should listen to your intuition, which, oh my God, that has been so true for me. If you think it. Go with, trust your gut.
The vision board thing. You got to go.
Oh, yeah, I'm fully into manifestation. Because this is called Get Lucky Manifestation for the Nation, And I feel like everything that's happened to me in my life, in terms of my career, certainly, I have manifested in one way or another. And I always want, when you talk about what I wanted as a kid, I would go to careers meetings and say, I want to be an artist. My dad was a poet, so...
I was talking about this earlier with Scott from the Exotic Zoo. I was talking about, because he was a rock star. He did lots of traveling around the US, but it was like, it's one of those things where eventually, it hits the end of its run, I guess. But I was talking about that cliche conversation that you see in movies and TV where, I don't know, Lisa Simpson says to Homer, I want to go to art college. It's like, no, you don't. You need to be a doctor. Or we see that all the time. But you think about art, especially when it comes to things like you start leaning into graphic design and, web-based art stuff, or even commissions, like you said, for art, film sets and things. That's money. That's a job. That's
right. So that's I've done a lot of this teaching art in schools because I had a lot of backlash from parents saying, there's no money in it. I don't want my child cutting off their own ear and starving in a garret somewhere. We don't need that. And I'm like, well, but the UK its biggest export is creative industries. Outside of the banking sector, it's where the money is. And I was teaching in London as well. And in London, it's the epicenter of, the creative communities. And, there are so many different job avenues in art. It's not, wow, I love your collages. They're brilliant.
Show Lucy.
They're fabulous. I love them.
Don't ever be shy to show your art to me.
Oh, do more collage. You need to meet Karis. I don't know if you've done it. You need
Karis Jackson, I've met her at Drawn.
Yeah.
And she's phenomenal. I've done a few. I've done Mike Perkins, James Millerchamp. He's great.
Oh yeah, I know James.
I've done a few. Obviously, Sam Pudi Stride, Cherie Gerard. There's a few amazing. Drawn is amazing. I wish I could do more. The issue I'm having with things like Drawn and festivals and things is I go around and I get these collections of interviews and then I have to sew them together. Where the editing process takes a bit longer.
Finding a thread.
So these nice long conversations are just so much easier to edit.
You can pick out what you want to pick out.
It's just listen through, take out all the if it's with Sam Pooley Stride, there's definitely F-bombs thrown in there somewhere.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I said to her, like, you carry on, I'll replace it with duck quacks. And that's what we did. We had duck quacks all the way through.
My language is terrible. Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, creative industries, don't let anyone talk you out of that. Like, it's a real concern. I did fine art, which is arguably the least useful of any like arts qualification. If I had my time again, I'm not sure if I would go down the same route, but hey ho, it is what it is.
But if you can get one painting to sell for £10,000,
yeah, that would be sweet.
you only sell 3 of them a year, then that's a living, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
That's an interesting thing about what is success as an artist. I mean, for many, it's just doing it, you know, regardless of whether you get paid or not. And for me, commissions coming in, that's great. That means other people want it. But I did always want to do it. And, you know, my dad and my mum, you know, they wanted me to go and do fine art. And I remember them saying to me about uni, they said, well, if you know, Lucy, you're probably going to be unemployed doing whatever. So you might as well be unemployed doing something you like. And like I said, my dad was a poet. He did English. He started off doing music and then swapped to English at uni. And, he ran that alongside a full-time job as a university librarian. And, he had his duty to his family and stuff, but he died young as well. He died at 53. Oh. So, which is part of the motivation, I think, for me doing this, you know, is that I feel like life is short. And that's what comes through a lot in my work. There's a lot of carpe diem. There's a lot of bright, vibrancy, joyful, life affirming, which is a very South American thing as well. If you go and you see the Day of the Dead, it's very much about do it now, do it now. And, my dad definitely was my biggest cheerleader in terms of, yeah, Lucy, you can do this. And I spent a long time teaching art, and I still do teach art, but I teach it in a different way. I'm teaching like classes locally. And I'm finding I enjoy it more because it's more practical, but also being able to focus on my own work and really go for that. And, life is short. So, like, if I don't do it now, when am I going to really go for it?
I love that philosophy. I really do. I remember
we had for a good time, not a long time.
And I remember talking to you about, I guess, protests through art. We were talking, obviously, because Trump had just got into power, I think.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I was talking a couple of weeks ago about there's like a mile in Bogota. There's a mile of like graffiti that my wife's cousin, when we got to Bogota, she was like, we need to show you this. And it's just like a mile of the most amazing graffiti you'll ever see, but really, really, really powerful. Do you feel like political arenas like this, what's happening in Gaza, these kind of things, are great motivators for art?
Yeah, I mean, I often feel quite useless in the face of all of that, and I don't know if I've ever made any work that makes great political message, a great message in that sense. But I think mine is more sort of globally universal about, like, it's about bringing joy and about being positive, and
it's a hard swerve away from that, and I love that. It's a hard swerve away from.
It's difficult, with what you're seeing in the world around you. How do you respond to that? But I mean, one of my all-time icons is Frida Kahlo, and she was obviously a Mexican artist at a time of revolution. She was a great. She was a feminist. She was an advocate of. The indigenous peoples of Mexico. She was a communist as well. She had various affairs with various.
I've seen that picture before.
Yeah. So she did a lot of self-portraits, and there's a lot of similarities between the things that she covers and the things that I cover. So in it, you can see lots of indigenous plants. You can see her styling of herself. You can see symbolic objects. So there's objects that are connected to the Day of the Dead. They're very bright. They're very vibrant. Some of her pictures, some of her paintings are very political as well. I love that one. That's still her self-portrait with hummingbird necklace. And, she's got on her shoulder this one black cat. And the black cat is a great symbol as well. It's a symbol of mysticism, and it's a portentous symbol. It's a symbol of good luck, bad luck. It's quite ambivalent. She's also got this monkey, because obviously she's living in, these are all her pets. She had all these pets around her. She had these hot water bottle dogs. In South America, they have these hairless dogs that the Incas used and the Aztecs used to use them as hot water bottles. The problem with this Frida is she's become known as the woman with the monobrow now. But she, watch the film if you haven't already, with Salma Hayek, because it tells you her whole life story.
Oh, really?
And how
Actually,
she was in an accident, and she was more or less paralyzed, and she was lying on her back and with the mirror over her bed and just painting what she could see, working from observation, but her work is a celebration of life. It's a celebration of, there are living plants in it. There's beautiful nature. And I think I'd like to say that there are similarities between our work in that, a lot of things in my work are about the sensory experience. So there's things in every single one of my paintings that would indicate the 5 senses. So there are, delicious, juicy, bright fruit. There are always lots of food and drink, cocktails. There's textures of fabrics and things that I found on my travels. Fur. In these paintings for Silton Hall, there's lots of fur and velvet. There's records and books, so spoken words, music, so the sound, all the senses, taste, sight, touch, it's all there.
I think it's really nice when you can just slow down and just focus on the things that are around you. Like, this is beautiful. This is great for me. You're talking about how this is the girl with the monobrow, and obviously she got like a bit of a moustache and things like. But that's her.
She is Mexican.
Her.
Yeah.
But I always used to think my brother was a bit of an idiot. But I look at him and think, you may be an idiot, but you're my brother. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got sometimes just accept the fact that we are who we are, and this is the world around us. And sometimes it's great to be able to celebrate that. And we talk about still life, and me thinking that it's practice, but it's not. It's like it's accepting what we've got around us. Oh, see, that's amazing.
So that's the first self-portrait that I'd ever done in my life, and I did that on my birthday last year when I was 46. And there's my black cat called Carbonell, he's also he's a bit of an ambivalent symbol.
I actually think I saw that self-portrait when I searched you up.
Ah, well, that's good. It's good that it popped up. There's a green parrot there. Used to be. So I don't know if you've ever been down to London and seen loads of green parrots flying around. If you go to Greenwich Park, there's absolutely loads there. I think they got free from.
They look like lovebirds.
Yeah. They I think they escaped from a film set or something like that. But they're now everywhere. But I love green parrots.
We've seen them. We saw them. Remember, we saw those little parrots in the trees when we went through.
I think you can see them up here now in Shrewsbury even.
Really?
But I get a bit superstitious. Again, luck is a big thing for me. So like when I see magpies, I'm always counting them. I think it's another thing about growing up in the northeast. My mom was really superstitious as well. So when I was living in London, I decided I'd stop counting magpies and start counting green parrots instead. I'm back up in Shrewsbury. I'm back to the magpies again.
Do you know, I have a really amazing story, and it's genuinely true. I don't know how it happened, but this happened. My mom's ex had lovebirds.
I'd love to paint some lovebirds, actually.
One of them got away. Flew out, and he lived in an upstairs flat in Telford. And his mom rang, who lived a few streets down, and she was like, "There's a parrot in my tree." It was his lovebird.
Oh.
He flew to his mom's, of all the places in Telford, bearing in mind birds can fly anywhere. And he went and collected his lovebird.
Oh.
It flew to her tree, and that genuinely happened. I was like, "Wow!"
Well, apparently ducks mate for life. We used to have a pair of ducks on a pond outside our flat in London, and it was always.
Is that why they're so protective?
Yeah,
That is mine.
They see off any other guy, and trying to muscle in there.
I like mallards in a weird way. No, because I do. Because I feel like the female mallard has got like this, I guess, kind of bland grey, but this tiny little bit of.
It's a bit of flash of iridescence.
Flash, and I love that. There's some metaphor there of life, I feel like. So we have this humdrum.
The guys are supposed to have all the shiny stuff to sort of deflect away, or is it to impress the women? I don't know. But
one or the other. I guess right, walking around Shrewsbury in the night time, you'll probably see something similar, I guess.
Definitely, yeah.
What are your thoughts on Shrewsbury's sort of art scene? Are you impressed by what's going on? Do you think we need more? Are you encouraged by what you see?
I mean, it's having an artistic renaissance right now. I mean, I think where, in the 1960s, it was New York, turn of the century, it was Paris. Right now it's Shrewsbury. It's all happening here. You heard it here first. I am currently the exhibitions manager for the Gateway Gallery, which is run on a volunteer basis. It's run by a charity called the Shrewsbury and Districts Arts Association, and the aim is that any money that comes into the charity through sale of work or what have you, it goes back into funding outreach in the local community. So We've done projects with Shropshire Supports Refugees. galleries. Last year there was one with Shrewsbury Arc, and we plan to do more like that. So we've got a big competition coming up in December called the Salopian Open. It used to be called the Shropshire Open, but I thought that sounded like a golf tournament.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah, so this is but anyone could enter. You could enter if you wanted to, Timmy. You have to pay your entry fee, but then there's no age limit, there's no theme, you can be any media from anywhere. So we've got...
You do photography?
Yeah, it could be photography. So literally anything. And the deadline is Halloween, so you've got to get your entries, got to get your skates on. Sorry?
You got an idea, have you?
Yeah, it could be anything, yeah. So, but obviously the gallery's only small, but we'll try and stack it floor to ceiling when we do it. But one of the things is so any money that comes in from entry fees, that'll go back into supporting outreach in the local community. But that's just we've been doing a whole series of different shows over the summer. So we did a print now. That was a print exhibition over the summer. And currently there's the CPRE, Council for Rural Protection Shropshire exhibition. That's going really well. We've got a plan
flowing, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a plan for a collage exhibition in the new year. So Caris will be in that. And I think there is a lot going on. I still think that in terms of a contemporary art space in Shrewsbury, I'm amazed that the Flax Mill hasn't been made into that, because I think the Gateway Gallery is a great space, but it's quite small.
What is it called? Is it the Custard Factory? Mustard Factory? The one?
Yes. Where's that? In
Birmingham? Is it Birmingham?
Birmingham, yeah.
There's something like that. You need something like that in Shrewsbury, I think, because we've got the English Bridge Workshops. That's a nice building.
Yeah.
I know that's just been saved. There's the Hive. There's so many places. And I know that Sampuli Stride's doing their own thing. You're doing your thing. There are a few like fragments of what is great in Shrewsbury when it comes to art, and I respect every single one of you that do that, because it just keeps, like I said, it keeps it flowing.
Yeah, and I think what it is that there's something for everyone. I mean, like Kirsty Warrow, I don't know if you know her, One Crow Left.
Yeah.
That's on in the Hive right now. Her. So that's got quite a dark, shamanistic, sort of quite spiritual
and
feel.
she does lots of meditation when she does that, and that's great.
So that her work is, so I feel like there's something for everyone. Highly Flammable Studios, I don't know if you've popped in there, but they're doing a load of really cool stuff. They're doing these markets as well, so that's bringing a lot of artists in.
I haven't spoke to Aaron and Alana in ages. I mean, I need to pop and say hello.
Yeah, they're doing some really great stuff there. So I was there doing meet and make artists in the summer, and we're doing another big festival coming up. There's going to be a Yule Fest. There was a magic market at the end of the summer, and they're doing something for Yule Tide. So there's sort of a little bit of sort of spirituality and art going together there.
Yule brings like some really interesting art, because there's a lot about bringing the outside in, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I really like a lot of, and that's one thing I'd like to bring into my work more, is a lot of the sort of the pagan and the sort of folk. I love folk art, so I'm doing a lot of so sort of training myself in sort of ways of painting, like in narrowboats, and but I look a lot of Mexican folk painting pattern. There's a lot of pattern in my work as well. And so what I go to the Clun Green Man Festival every year, and I love all of that. I love all the sort of symbolic things that go on in that as well.
Timmy was obsessed with it was Mike Perkins that did Swamp Thing that you liked, was it?
Yeah. And then I actually coloured over it.
Oh no!
Get into the mic.
I coloured over it on my dad's phone.
Yeah. Because there's I've got a pen, a stylus on my thing.
Okay, right. So you can literally colour it in.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
So he made his own version of it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because you're obsessed with that a bit. I like that. I like incorporating.
Maybe you should make your own comic book or graphic novel.
Yeah, I've tried doing that, but
you have to keep trying. You can get some of these ones where you get the layout already and you just have to fill
I've
them
got
in.
one of them in my bedroom.
I got you one of them for Christmas not long ago, didn't I?
Yeah.
You need to sort of start brainstorming ideas for characters and think
he's got them all written up. He's got his own like comic book universe already written out. This is what I'm saying.
My husband's obsessed with like all things Marvel and like
we are too.
And so I'm always asking him, he's got all the catalogues of every single character, and I'm always like, has it all been done before, and he'll say, oh yeah, is there a beaver? Yeah, there's a beaver. Is there anything you can think of, there has been one made of it already.
He's got, what is it, Invisiman,
nice.
And also this random person called Lyra that helps him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And have you got their costumes sorted out and their weaponry?
Well, Invisiman is a superhero with every power except for invincibility. And Lyra has super strength and she's got a sword. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very. I brought him up to have his eyes open to all kinds of, culture, and like we love Star Wars, we love Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
But now you're finding anime, aren't you? Manga.
Yes.
But there's there are absolutely tons of art in all of those. Like in the backdrops for the scenes. I've just been rewatching Dune. I absolutely love it. I love Villeneuve's, the cinematography, and it's just huge. It's like it's so gargantuan, but you see that a lot in computer games as well. There's that God of War, and you get these like massive, you get those little fights going on in the foreground, and then it pans back to the background. There's some great sort of like thing going on in the back. I love that. I love playing with scale. I love when you get like little things and big things happening at the same time.
I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077 at the moment, which was a game that was released. It was broken, and everybody complained about it, so nobody played it. But then they patched it and fixed it and released it as a brand new game, and it's so beautiful. It is literally like you're in a cyberpunk. Like imagine like 80s style tech. Pushed into the future. It's amazing. Honestly, I just find myself walking around and completely immersed into this world.
Well, games design is huge right now, and it's a massively growing industry as well, especially since COVID, because a lot of people sat around playing computer games. My friend who is a computer games designer for Rockstar in Edinburgh, he's like he's on way more money than me, so it's like that's a real going concern for a career. If you say I want to get into digital, I want to get into design like that.
I feel like there's definitely an application for you in your bright colours though, because they seem to be the same sort of games. Obviously, like there's the Call of Duty and the FIFA that all the kids play, but like I feel like there's lots of retro games as well where they have these like nice colourful backgrounds and things. I feel like you could definitely.
I love all those aesthetics, and I love pop culture as well. That my face is going to be bright red. And
what we'll do is I'll take a couple of pictures afterwards. So we'll do some pose one.
I love, but I do love pop culture. There's quite a lot of pop culture in my paintings. There's a lot of like vinyl records and novels and things like that. So there's I definitely actually and my husband goes around finding retro consoles as well. We found a car. No, he's going to kill me. Caveman, maybe. Like it's a little console that was in the charity shop just over there.
Really?
And he got it. He brought it back to life. It was amazing. It's just this little dinosaur that goes around eating caveman. And he said he had it as a kid. And it was like that's all it does. It doesn't do anything else.
I love stuff like that. That nostalgia is like I always talk about nostalgia because it's a strange little one. I interviewed a guy called Ben Fuchs a few years ago for You Suck that we were doing. It's a transatlantic podcast at USUG. And he was saying nostalgia is a type of depression. And I was like, what? And it's like, because you're yearning for a past that you can't go back to. And I was like, what? That's a very negative way of looking at things. But it kind of makes sense at the same time. It's like you can't get in a time machine and go back and be in those times, but your body's telling you want to.
I think maybe that's partly why I make still life paintings with symbolic objects, because it makes me feel...
It can inspire you
that,
to make...
That vase that belonged to my grandpa's does make me feel nostalgia, but not necessarily in a negative way. So definitely in a like, in
a yearning.
It's a thing that I love. It's a thing that I've grown up with, and it's so important to me.
What are you going to say to me?
My PE teacher actually said something that actually kind of changed the way that I look at things.
Oh yeah, okay.
So last Friday, we were doing PE, and he told us to told a group to stand on the green cones, even though they're yellow, and then everybody said that is yellow except for me.
Well,
and then he said, for me, it looks green, but for you lot, it might look
that's really interesting
yellow
about perception.
So you never know, like, actually what colour it is. Like, it could be a different colour. Like, these mics could be red.
That is so true. That is such never a truer word was spoken, because there's what I see, and then there's this cloud, and then there's what you see, and there might be things that kind of cross over. But I have this a lot with my classes. Today I was drawing pumpkins, and we're drawing little munchkin pumpkins, and I was like, oh, there's some blues in that there's some oranges, and and like some people are like, where do you get this from? And I'm like, well, I guess my perception of colour is a bit different, but I think also, I think probably being able to see more colour in things is quite helpful as well, because it helps things to become more three-dimensional.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nothing better than real life, because I think TV is great. Obviously, TV is great, but you get a better depth perception when you're out there in the real world. You get
it's more than just a physical thing as well, because how you see something is also clouded by your experience as well, and your thoughts and your feelings. So I might see a picture of something, but to me it means something really important to me because of something I've experienced. For you, it might not mean anything at all, or it might mean something completely different. You have your own personal experience.
My wife loves the Eiffel Tower. Her dad was from Paris, so we got the Eiffel Tower running through our apartment. For her, that's an emotional attachment. You know what I mean? For me, it's the Eiffel Tower. For her, it's the Eiffel Tower.
Yes. Yeah. Well, everything. Meaning changes, doesn't it? Dependent on your own experience and your own background.
I think sometimes it can create real, like one movie I don't think gets talked about enough is there was a movie a few years ago made called Sin City, and it was black and white.
I like Sin City. And
they had all the blood come out as white instead of red. It was honestly, one day we'll watch.
Based on you need to look at Frank Miller's
Frank Miller is
stunning.
Frank Miller made Batman big and bulky, and he was really good at like showing like the dark side of the world.
Yeah, it's quite violent.
Yeah, he's the one that also made like Daredevil really dark and stuff as well.
And have you seen the 300 as well?
300, yeah.
I've got some credentials. God, I feel so uncool.
I'm vibing with you right now, Lucy. We could do this all night.
My husband, we have so many of them. We've got all of the collections and everything.
But who'd have thought to do that though? To make like this thing, it was very noir. It was very like, in a world where everything's bright, colourful, DC, Marvel, it was like, no.
Really turned up the contrast.
Yeah, and the blood was like proper, brilliant white as well. It is such an amazing movie. Like,
I've got a question for Lucy.
Yeah, sure, please fire away.
It's a bit off topic.
Okay, fine.
Do you like to draw in silence or with music?
Ooh, that's
a really good question. That's an excellent question. I love to have some absolutely banging tunes on, and like my studio is supposed to be in the basement, but I get a bit lonely, so I end up moving up to the kitchen all the time. And
where Alexa is.
And yes, and I run through it's a lot of female singers. So there's Lizzo, Dua Lipa, Kylie,
Shania Twain.
The whole shebang, yeah. And I'll be there, and especially these ones recently, they're so big. I'm standing up and I'm boogieing at the same time. I don't really paint in silence. I sing along a lot. So yeah,
I love that makes me appreciate. I already do appreciate your art, but it makes me appreciate it a little bit more just to know that you're like, man, I feel like a woman. While she's painting a banana. I love that.
That painting, Let's Go Girls, is going to be in the show as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's going to be, this room is so big, it's going to have to basically have all my paintings in.
So Sultan Hall, obviously this is going to go after then. How did that come across? Did you, because I know Sultan Hall, they're really good at commission art to fill out those spaces.
Because Sam did a show there.
Sam and
Jacob Chandler.
I went to the Jacob Chandler one. That was fun.
So Tim got in touch with me. I knew Tim anyway from Shrewsbury School, and I also knew him because I'd watched Country File with the Sultan Hall Longbarrow on it.
Yeah,
and I'm a complete mega nerd. So I love all barrows and standing stones and hill forts and all of that sort of thing. So I really wanted to see the long barrow. So, and I got in touch with him, and he came into my office quite a few times when I was teaching there, and but then he randomly got in touch with me last year and said, "Well, you like fruit, you do fruit, don't you?" And I'm kind of well known for doing fruit, the urgent lemons, etc., etc. And he said, "I've got this idea for a show. I want to do the show about pomegranates because there are pomegranates carved in the wall in the plaster upstairs in Sultan Hall, and the pomegranate itself is very symbolic as a fruit. So it's a symbol of abundance and fertility, which I really love. I love that it's a symbol of life and it's just exploding and bursting with life. They're called arils, by the way, not seeds, just saying
arils.
There you go. That's a good pub quiz question. What are the seeds in pomegranates called? They're called arils. Anyway, and there's lots of legends. Persephone, Hades and Persephone. Hades took Persephone down to the underworld and she had to eat her 6 seeds. And so she does 6. So that's why we have 6 months of summer, 6 months of winter.
I always look at pomegranates as like an ancient fruit. I don't know why.
It's very ancient. Yeah, they're in all cultures, like Greek, Turkish, which I love about them. And they're very sacred. For Tim, he makes a lot of connections, and these are in the paintings as well, between the sacred geometry and architecture of the building. You need to interview him about this.
We've done a little bit about it. Yeah, of course. The maths that
the maths
that like creates what Sultan Hall is.
Yeah, so there's a shape called the rhombic dodecahedron, which I always think sounds a little bit like rhombic dodecahedron.
Let's see, what does that look like?
It's basically
a rhombic dodecahedron.
It's a shape with 20 sides, which are all rhombuses. The dodecahedron is 12, or is it 20? Oh, I'm getting it wrong now. It looks actually bizarrely like a cube from the side. If you look at it from the side, there is one in the painting. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
So the house is based on this, but also, hold on, I'm going to come back to this in a minute. I've got to look at that now.
When we go to Sultan Hall,
we're
going to go and do that because I did say to Tim I'll do it, and we haven't. That's because I was kind of like, I need to get a new job, and then I got a new job, and then life kind of like,
12 faces.
12 faces.
Yeah, so there's 2 different types of dodecahedron in the painting. There's one of those, which is one made of pentagons, and there's also a rhombic dodecahedron as well, which is based on the geometry of the house.
So that's why a pomegranate's used, because
there's more, because it's in the sacred geometry and the architecture of the house, but also there is a crystal called a garnet. Have you heard of a garnet before? It's like a dark red pomegranate coloured crystal, which grows, believe it or not, you know how crystals grow in a structure?
Yeah.
It grows in the structure of a rhombic dodecahedron. Like, there's so many connections, it's insane. So yeah.
Timmy's brain's just exploded all over.
Your mind is going to be blown. But anyway, if you go and see the painting, all of these connections are in it. There are rhombic dodecahedrons, there are pentagonal dodecahedrons, there are Rubik's cubes, there are D&D dice, there's everything. It's all
I am off on the 19th. I'm looking there. I am definitely off. So we should. I think I'm off.
On the preview is on 8th of November.
Oh, I thought it was the. Oh, am I thinking of something else?
I don't know.
Maybe I am.
No,
it's the 8th. I'm thinking of something else.
It's confusing me.
I know, yeah. I'm thinking of
about rhombic dodecahedron.
It's the Shrewsbury Town Female Focus. That's on the 19th. I'm sorry, my bad.
It's all right. Don't worry. There's a lot of stuff going on. I struggle with organising my own life.
But the 8th, I did check. I was off, and I would love to come because
that's on the 8th, and then I'm doing a workshop there the next day as well. So we're going to be painting pomegranates with anyone who wants to come along on the next day. So, but
I think we're going to get this. This is going to be out on the 27th. So
the end of November.
Yeah, so we're going to get this on the 27th. So
November's crazy because I've got Drawn. I'm doing both days at Drawn, and then I've got more workshops. Tim, you've got a question. You've got your hands up. You're such a good boy.
Do you like to challenge yourself when you're doing your art?
Yes, I do. That's such a good question. God, lots of people say to me, why did you decide to paint that? And sometimes I do just love the challenge. I love to paint things like reflective surfaces and glass, which a lot of people would just go, no, I don't want to paint that.
A lake, like a watery lake.
Things where there's lots of stuff bouncing around. So in this painting, there is a rhombic dodecahedron that's made of perspex. And I found that really hard to paint because it's like basically neon. But you know how perspex, if you look at it from the side, it almost lights up. So that was really challenging to paint, but I enjoyed painting it.
I did a thing the other day on the computer. Basically, because I'm starting a new podcast and I'm thinking of networking the shoot. I'm finding it. I'm not being rude. I'm not scrolling. I'm trying to find this. I'm going to network up the biscuit so that it's got 2 shows working with it. But I'm working on something called Biscuit Behind the Boom. And it's basically, I want to talk about the inner workings of the TV, movie, theatre, music. So, like, I don't necessarily want to speak to Taylor Swift. I want to speak to a lighting manager or the person, the editor, the producer.
All of the team around these people in any of these films. It's like, it's not just one thing, is it? And I think real masters, they understand how that all works together. We went to see Kate Bush's last show, and, the theatre of it, as well as the music, the look of it is just amazing. And, if you watch films like The Cook, the Thief, His Wife and Her Lover, the costumes are made by Gautier, the sound is done by Nyman. And when you get an amazing team together, it's fantastic.
So that's that. And I did
that's so cool.
The reflections on the table, I had to like really think and do that. I had to like cut them all up and flip them around. And
good job.
And I'm like, I feel good now. An artist like you telling me my work is good. I'm very happy.
Did you train in digital art?
No, I learned everything myself. So all the logos. The Shrewsbury Biscuit logo as it is now was created by Web Orchard. They did a really nice thing and made me a nice logo. But everything before then, I've made.
You need to get on the merch. We need the Shrewsbury Biscuit.
My wife made the hat I was just wearing that Timmy's now got. He's got to get the iPad. I don't know why. But my wife made that for his Saha football team. She was like, "Can we put the Shrewsbury Biscuit logo on the hat?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay." So that's nice.
That's cool.
But yeah, I
biscuit pins, some biscuit badges.
I'd love stuff like that. It's just money.
It's easy to do, though. I think people would buy them.
I think they would.
Because it's like, and especially if it said the Shrewsbury Biscuit on it, and like I think anyone visiting the town would want it.
My wife's my mother-in-law. That's the way we say that, isn't it? She's an amazing baker. She's brilliant. And I was saying we should get into business making some Shrewsbury biscuits.
You could have different flavour because I think the classic one is like lemon with currants as well. With currant Shrewsbury, but actually maybe without it. But then I think you can do like other versions, like a chocolate chip one.
Tat FB made me, obviously now known as the Cake Tunist.
She's amazing. She's an amazing baker.
Before she was the Cake Tunist. And before
we've been round to her house for dinner, for dessert.
She's incredible, honestly. She made me Shrewsbury biscuits with I think it was blackcurrant marshmallow filling.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
They were incredible. And we had a studio at the parade at the time, and she walked in with this like biscuits. I was like, what? Like, she's incredible. I love her. She's so like, I love how she's like, she takes the mickey out of herself. She takes the mickey out of everybody. She's a very down to earth person.
She
lovely.
Is, yeah. But she's got a great message as well behind her. She's a really strong woman and really, positive, life affirming, joyful.
Yeah, I love that about her. So what's going on? What are you with your art, the future? Is there anything that you're thinking of? Is there anywhere you want to take it? Obviously, you're looking after the Gateway at the moment, but that's facilitating other people. Do you know what I mean?
It's interesting. So this show at Sultan is going to be huge. Like So I did a sort of solo thing last year, just at Glue Glue in town, and that was fun. It was nice, but this is the first sort of thing that I've done in a space, like a space, and inviting it like a solo show. Obviously, we did Colour Now in January, but that was with 4 other friends. So yeah, these are all ticking things off my bucket list really to do. I guess
you and Glue Glue go together. Like, that is a perfect pairing.
Yeah, it was really great. Looked great in there as well because the walls are all coloured, and I think it's a myth that a lot of people like to say that. My work, it's too colourful, it's too colourful in my home, or it would need to be in a white space. But actually, Camilla, I don't know if you know Camilla Architecture Ventures.
Monk, yeah.
Yeah, so she did some wonderful drawings of my work, sort of roomscapes, interior roomscapes, how they would look with like really lovely velvet sofas and beautiful vases. And
she's a rock star.
It's really cool. And because I think the thing about my paintings is that they're very maximalist. So if you like a maximalist vibe, lots of colour, lots of stuff, everything, everywhere, all at once, then and actually, I have got collectors of my work that they come back and they're buying them again and again.
I think great. Your work, say like you take the painting you just showed me, the Get Lucky one. but blown up, like massive, like but spread over a wall. I think that looks so
I need to look
good.
into getting this done properly. I need to get my work photographed properly. I haven't. It's all been a bit ad hoc so far, but I must get prints sorted. People keep saying to me, "I want to buy prints," and I'm like, I still haven't sorted it properly. I've got a range of cards for the pomegranates coming out. So like I had a range of cards for the lemons. They were going really well, but I just. It's just time, isn't it? You can't do everything all at the same time. But, ideally, I guess long term, it would be lovely to have, like your work abroad. I think Sherry's, she's trailblazing, isn't she, getting over to New York? And I'd love to go back to New York. I'd love to go, to different countries and travel. I love to travel, so it'd be nice to, travel with my work.
Do you reckon you could do a Matsul? Do like a big mural?
I love to paint big. Honestly, once I got into this canvas, this is 12 foot long, basically altogether. There's 3 of them, so it's 4 foot, 4 foot. Like when I got into it, I was really enjoyed it. It was so much fun.
You have to find your side of a building in Shrewsbury.
I definitely would. And like I honestly, I people could give me anything and I'll paint it for them. I'm not. I did a commission of this wedding couple the other day, and I really enjoyed doing it. I love portraiture. I love painting. I love painting anything that's celebratory and full of life.
Yeah, I think that's very true. The first time, I think that oozes through you and your work. I mean, the first time I met you, you had a hat with whenever
hat with the lemon
with the fruit on. And when I was explaining who you were to my wife, Lucy Caddel, and she was like, "Who?" I said, "We met her at Draw, and she had the fruit on her head." She's like, "Oh yeah,
amazing!"
And he came shimmying over to me in a really nice, vibrant way, and I was just like, "You're Lucy," and you were like, "You're the biscuit girl," and I was like, "Yeah," and that was it. Like you're just flowing with energy.
I went to a thing about selling at markets, and they said, "Oh, you always." And this was a guy who'd been on Dragon's Den, and he'd had his thing accepted. He made a cat feeder which covered the cat food, so the cat had to walk onto it, and it opened like a pedal bin. And he did this thing about the art of selling at markets, and he said you need something that people will remember. Because I thought, and to be fair, like drawing is an amazing thing, but there's a lot of stuff. It's quite hard to stand out.
But I love that, and I can see that it's a lot of organized chaos, very well organized chaos.
It's brilliant. I love it. I absolutely love it.
But to stand out,
I just thought, what am I going to do to stand out? Because, obviously, the work is very colourful, and some people will like that and some people won't. And then I thought, I'm going to put some lemons on my head, and then people remember that. I
think that's really good. That's what. I don't know, that's what drew me to energy exchange is really important to me. I always talk about this because I used to watch a lot of Harry Mack, his videos. He was a freestyle rapper, but he'd go up to people like, "Can I do a freestyle rap for you?" And he'd like vibe off these people that would just love his music, and then he'd vibe back, and it's just back into a positive energy. And like I really he inspired me because I used to go around with a microphone and be like, I do a thing, and they'd be like, "No, I'm okay, thanks." Whereas now I'm kind of like, "Yo, do you want to come on a thing?" And they vibe. I think
a good interviewer has their own personality, and that personality draws, the answers out of you. So like it's important.
We create our own natural cadences in life, and if you vibe positively, I think Jim Hawkins was talking about working on the radio for free earlier. I think he's more about like there's a lot of radio stations not paying their stars to do radio, and he's kind of like protecting them. But for me, I did radio for 18 months for free. I did a show called Naughty Talk. It was really fun. Naughty Talk because it was all Naughty's music, but my gaffer was like, "Yeah, keep the swears in, it'd be funny." It was fun, right? I started off like obviously like just feeling my way around things, but I learned my natural cadence. I learned how to improvise on the radio because it was all live, and by the end of it, I had a full Discord of people vibing with my show. I really enjoyed it, and now it means I can have a conversation with you without having to have notes. Do you know what I mean? And that's the kind of education we give ourselves. It's like with you, for example, you said you can paint anything, but that's because of the experiences that you've had in life. You can do that now,
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. I mean, I think we're always learning. I believe in lifelong learning, and I think my style is sort of evolving and changing. And my dad would always say to me, "You're only as good as the last piece of work that you've done," wow. Which is terribly, means I'm always moving forward. I'm like, right, now what? What's next? What's next? But
also the bits that you might think were shite and you just threw in the bin might be amazing to someone else. I remember we were in. I want to say Bruges. I think we're in Bruges, maybe Venice. I don't know.
Bruges, it's a film.
and we went to the Salvador Dali exhibition, and we were just flicking through his scrapbooks.
Oh man, yeah.
And like these are bits that he probably thought weren't good enough.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Wow.
this naked lady lying on a couch,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was like, that was incredible to see, because like he thought that they would know, you know what I mean? And
I'm
also,
building up this whole collection because I do every lesson that I teach, every class that I teach. So I did one in Basin Hill Memorial Hall this morning. Like I always do an exemplar for them and alongside them at the same time. So I've got this massive back catalogue of like paintings now from every class. So when I am rich and really famous, I'll be able to sell those for millions.
But do you ever go back in time and think, oh, that can inspire me for a new piece of art?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, it's funny because this painting for Sultan, it's got a lot of things that I've ended up painting in classes as well. There's some sunflowers, there's some corn cobs, pomegranates. All of these things have turned up in my classes recently. I think if you go to my classes, people go specifically because they know what I am well known for: colour, fruit, stuff, packaging, and they want to do it too. They want to. So
it's good marketing, though, isn't it?
yeah,
Good marketing.
I think they're part and parcel of the same thing. It's really interesting because I've met a lot of people. I've met more people through these classes that I'm doing than I have in the previous 6 years in Shrewsbury, and I really enjoy it. I've met such a really interesting cross section of society, and people who are becoming, they're coming to shows at the Gateway, and they're really getting invested in my work as well. So they're all like, oh yeah, well come along. It's great.
It's nice to see different people. It's nice to see the same people as well. I do see the same people at art shows, and it's nice to see them. But at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, you've driven all the way there here. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's
it's
really
nice to see when people make an effort like that. Definitely.
Is there anything that you've never been able to paint that you just like? I can't. I've tried a million times, can't do it. I know some people struggle with hands.
Oh,
some
hands
people.
bad. There's some hands in this triptych. Don't look closely at them. They're not important. Therefore, they're not. They're kind of in the background. God, I bet everyone's going to look at the hands now and go, "Yeah, she was right."
Yeah.
I don't know. There's probably things that I probably wouldn't choose to paint.
I've always been bad at drawing cars. The typical round.
Yeah.
Like they always look the same. They always look like a toddler's drawing it.
I like shiny cars. It's metallic stuff. We had a cat, obviously Lucy Caddel.
Yeah.
We had a Cadillac at our wedding, a jade green Cadillac.
Love that.
So that's pretty cool. And in the big painting that's in Berwick House right now, there's a cover of a vinyl by Sigrid, and she's sitting on the bonnet of a really nice like red sedan car. And I do enjoy. I wouldn't say no to cars.
That's good.
I'd give them a good go.
You're more of an artist than I am. I've got to say that.
Practice makes perfect.
I have just drawn this.
Oh, that's great. Are you using Procreate? What's that?
It's Sketchpad.
No, nice, yeah. So you've got some nice airbrush techniques. I love what you can do. I've just got myself an iPad, and I've got Procreate. I love it. It's got so much potential, and I've actually used it to create some rhizo prints that we've been doing down at Swan Hill. I'm going to do a rhizo for the pomegranate show as well, actually. I think it's really useful because you can try ideas out and it doesn't matter. There's no mess, so you can just see, does that work? It is quite a good way. And I actually did plan this, we talk about how the process. I did plan some of the painting for Tim on my iPad.
Wow.
Just like bringing together, it's going to have this and it's going to have this.
And I guess when it comes to exhibiting art as well, it's really good if you can have like, we can put this up here and this down here. Then you can take that idea to the Gateway Gallery or to Sultan Hall, or you can. So that's good that you can have that. I like Affinity. I use Affinity stuff. I do. Affinity design for me is just where I can work out. I guess I'm more graphic design. I've never been trained on it or anything. I just learn as I go, and I've just some of it's crap, some of it's been really good. Actually, I've made some really good stuff. I'm like, oh, actually, that's not bad.
I think the tools for that now are so all of those things that like AI and digital art and Canva. I mean, I use Canva a lot because I'm a terrible graphic designer. But everyone thinks, oh, Lucy, you'll be great at graphic design, but I can't do graphic design. Straight line. If there's something I can't do, straight lines, forget it, I can't. And so I use Canva a lot now, and it's been an absolute lifesaver for me because I have to make quite a lot of like flyers and mock-ups and stuff for my work, and that really does help.
You've always been good at the flyers stuff. I think some of the stuff you make is so striking, so brilliant. The colours that you make, like the Colour Now stuff you did was just
Oh, thank you. I try
Really
to use a similar color palette so that people, it's like your brand colors.
Oh, that's Lucy's work. That is,
it's got loads of pink, and I mean, Karis. It's funny, we were talking about this the other day. She's burnt orange every time, and I'm like, but I like. I'm not averse to an orange. I like an orange,
orange.
Probably if I was going to say
pink, not flamenco pink, that kind of really dark pink. Yeah,
pinks, yellow. There's a lot of yellow because there's a lot of lemon. So
brilliant. Well, we've been going for a good hour and 4 minutes.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
It's gone so quick. What would you say to someone like Timmy, who's here, about who wants to do something with art, but maybe he's on the fence about going to, we had that conversation about, will my mom and dad appreciate me going to do art college? What would you say to those young people? Is there anything that you can inspire them with?
I definitely think go for it. I think that, studying it will help you, and getting a qualification in it, don't just do it in a hobbyish way. If you're, and there are opportunities out there, like I say, it's the biggest employer outside of the banking sector, and there'll be stuff out there that you've never even thought about. If you look around, everything around you is designed, there's something, there's a creative input, and actually every career needs creativity. I've had this arguments with people who, my son wants to be a medic, they want to be a doctor. And it's like, well, you still need to have a strong visual acuity. So you should still, have good skills with your eyes, because I wouldn't want a doctor operating on me who didn't have good visual acuity. Yeah. So, it's an important skill that we should all have. Blue sky thinking outside of the box, creativity. That's something that you get from doing art. So, I think try and keep your general art education going for as long as possible through school, and then, there should be nothing that stops you doing it for a university qualification as well.
We were having a conversation the other day about like graphic design, saying like these road signs, they're graphic design. A fire exit sign is graphic design.
Love the font for the road signs. Who did I have this conversation with? They're wonderful. I love a road. That is a lovely image. I love there's a feeling of weather in the background there. It's really atmospheric. Nice.
Yeah, I like these striking. Yeah, well done, Timmy. Really good. I love that. I know his art will progress as he gets older, and he'll get better with his actual fine colouring, but his colour schemes have always been on point. Like he's always been passionate about art, and that's what's very, very encouraging. I love it. Well, Lucy, you're amazing as always to talk to. Is there anything that you feel like you haven't said yet, or anything that you want to get out there? I mean, obviously, on the 8th we've got Salton Hall. Can people? Is it invitation?
You can book it on Eventbrite. It's free. It's going to be from 4:00 till 7:00, but that's on the 8th. So I don't know if there's go out after that. If there is a chance to ask people to come to the Gateway Gallery for the open exhibition, if the deadline's passed, then they should come along and check it out. But if it hasn't, if they can enter it, that would be great. Otherwise, fine.
Brilliant. I always feel like when it comes to architecture in the UK and stuff like that, it's very drab, very brown, very beige. When you go to Ireland or wherever you go to South America and stuff, there's nice, colourful, bright houses. And when you come back over to the UK, you're kind of like, that's lawly. Great. So I feel like when people come to see your art, it's
Buenos Aires, Bocas del Toro.
Nice, beautiful colours.
Yeah.
I mean, and so when you go to see Lucy's art, it is literally a break away from the beige.
Yeah.
So it's nice. I would encourage anybody to go and see Lucy's art. Go to Gateway Gallery, get immersed into it. Even if you're not an artsy person, just give it a go. You might find something that you like. So please, I want you to support local artists, especially our guest today, Lucy.
Thank you, Alex.
Where can people follow you and give you some support?
So I'm on Instagram and Facebook. It's Lucy Caddel _art. You can check out my website. It's www.lucycaddel.com, and check out the Gateway as well. I think it's gatewaygallery.co.uk. David Yates is a graphic designer. He's just redesigned the website. It looks amazing.
Cool.
So check it out. It's really funky, really cool.
Nice. I love that. Timmy, have you got anything you want to add before we get out of here? Skedaddle? Oh gosh.
You had the best question.
You did. I think we need to swap roles. I think you are. I'll be Mini-Biscuit. You be. Oh, he's got his. Oh, you should
sell those as well. Mini-Biscuits. Like I can imagine Mini-Biscuits, mini Shrewsbury Biscuit bites. That would be.
I know.
Like a bag of them.
Look at this. I mean,
Mini-Biscuits.
Camilla, that's one of the things I always love about her, and Alex McCarthy, is that she's always like, "There's application for you. There is something you could do with a biscuit." And I'm kind of like,
definitely.
Go on then, Timmy.
How would you describe your art to someone who has never seen it before?
Very bright. It's very bright indeed. That's
I like you're saying dopamine dressing for your
dopamine dressing for your walls. Yeah, definitely. You know, if you're a maximalist, you're going to love it.
I've got a bit of Gary Drew very kindly gave me one of his prints, which is hanging up there.
You brought something.
Oh, you don't have to. You don't. Honestly, I was just so. He was just like, oh, I know you like my work. I'm in the area. I love that. I walked past it, and
I will post something for your door.
Oh, bless you. I've got a bit of
But you've got a lot. It's quite monochromatic in here. I feel like my work's gonna like.
This corner. I want to get rid of this table.
Okay.
I want to create an almost kind of, because my wife works from at home, she sits on a laptop. I kind of want to create like a multi-purpose corner where I can podcast, she can work, and maybe we can eat dinner as well.
So you maybe need a backdrop or something here.
Yeah, I was
I'll
thinking
paint
that. But this corner, I feel like it's going to waste. I mean, we love having a table, but we don't use it that often, let's be honest. So like this corner could be really something nice. But Lucy, anyway, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you so much.
Always welcome on the podcast.
Oh.
And I hope everything goes well with you, the exhibition. I'm sure it's going to.
Oh, thank you. Have a nice day.
By Lucy's art. Bye-bye. So there we go. Lucy, how ace is she? And we will be hearing more from her at her great exhibition at Salton Hall. I really want to go to that, so we will be there. And please check out her work. Buy some work, maybe even. Hey, if you buy a piece of Lucy's art on the strength of this podcast, definitely let me know, because I want to know if that's worked. If I'm going to sell a piece of art, I can call myself an art connoisseur. So that would sound really, really good. So yeah, appreciate that. Thank you, Lucy. So coming up on the Shrewsbury Biscuit, I kind of hit a wall really, because I recorded 3 podcasts in the space of like 2 days, whatever. And that was just like a stopgap kind of filler. So now I'm looking for, I am cooking on gas for finding a mystery interview for tomorrow, which is going to be Monday. So I'll have a week to prepare and get a podcast ready. So, but you know what? If you are listening to this and you're thinking to yourself, I would really like to go on the Shrewsbury Biscuit, I've got an amazing story to tell, then please get in touch. It's that easy. I am that easy. I nearly said I am that easy. Just drop me a message on Facebook, Instagram, email even, shrewsburybiscuitpodcast@gmail.com. Drop me a message. We can organise a date, and then you can come on the podcast. We can do it in a coffee shop. You can come around my apartment. We can do it online. I've just spoken to somebody in London, and we're not in the same room, so we can do it either way. As we speak, I'm hibernating for a couple of days. We just come back from Denmark. We spent 4 days in Copenhagen. Well, 3 days in Copenhagen and a day in Malmo in Sweden. We did quite a lot. So I'm a bit like tuckered out. I'm a bit like, oh, I need to just like lie around and just do nothing. But yeah, here I am at the computer making stuff, because that's the kind of guy I am. Please get in touch if you want to get on the podcast. Really interesting to hear from you. Okay. Also, as well, I have acknowledged bus stop gate at the moment in Shrewsbury, what's going on the Pigeon Bridge. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Well, we can have some real fun with that, I think. I'm all about positivity in this podcast, and that's what this is meant to be. It's meant to be like a break. But I feel like rather than being negative and complaining about the bus stop, which is, of course, very odd how they've chosen to put it there, but we can have some real fun with it. So I'm going to take my laptop. I'm going to make some fun artwork with it, I think. I think we can make business cards. That it's gone viral. The people talking about around the world. And if you're unsure of what I'm talking about, stop lying. You know what I'm talking about. Right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Who knows who it's going to be, but it's definitely going to be on a Monday, because remember my promise? Podcast every Monday. Yeah. Catch you guys at the next one. Peace out.